great people come back and talk to us, and we're going to be talking to the ones that have been here and worked with the production club all these years in the long run. And one of them has been one of our cameramen, and Virgil Freeman. Good to have you here, Virgil.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here, Virgil. I just wish you had your wife with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, she doesn't she doesn't like to get on camera. So.
I know it, and she's here all the time. She's
Right.
such a good member.
She does all kinds of work and everything else. I can't get her on camera.
We have tried so hard.
She's,
Maybe we can sneak one in here before the
Well,
show's
maybe
over
we
some
can.
way. She's hiding right now. Virgil, your background when you were in, I hate to say as the future or the past life or whatever, but in earlier days you played trombone all around the country, right?
Right.
Still doing it.
About 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe longer, I don't know.
You must
but,
be all of 55.
I took a vacation from the band business and opened a restaurant, which we ran for 20 years, and then I came back to it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a party.
And we
It's a
started
party
playing
all
again.
We're having a party down the street.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they should leave that open in some way and get it set up.
That's
and,
it's so much fun
be ready
because
for people to come in. There he
Yeah.
is. I knew who that was before
boy.
he came in. Lou arrived on the scene here. We're going to be talking to him a little bit later too. But Virgil, part of the bands that you played with, some of the names, can you give us some of those?
Oh, Chuck Foster, Dick Jurgens, a number of bands in Chicago. And I worked at the Mill Run Theater in Chicago, which was playing all the big acts and stuff for 2-3 years. It was probably the best part of the career was those shows and stuff. They appear at the Sundome now all the time, but I don't get to play for them now. Because
I was going to say that's the ultimate thing is when a group comes into town and they hire you as the part of the backup
they have
band.
the best music, the best script, the easiest stuff to read. And it's all so professional, you know. It was fun when it was going on.
Did you play for the people while you were running your restaurant?
No, never. I hung my horn on a wall, upside down, put a philodendron in the bell, and it stayed there for 20 years. I never blew a note.
That must have been a big philodendron that stayed there for, how do you say that, philodendron?
I don't know, you're the radio man.
I'm not going to try it anyway. Now you do the camera work here, a lot of camera work, right?
I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the musicians we've had here, Frankie Carl and Russ Carlisle and all those guys, and it's been fun to let them expose their past. You know, they got interesting stories too.
But you are playing now.
Oh yeah,
You've become very involved with your horn playing again.
I play with a small group, and then the concert band and the Sun City Polka Pops band, and we've recently organized a British type brass band, which is going to be really nice.
I had this thing happen to me for the very first time in my life. It was my birthday, and his wife called to wish me happy birthday, and Virgil played happy birthday to me on the telephone. I've never had anything like that. I was very touched by that. Thank you.
You know, our lives crossed in Denver, Colorado several years ago. I was doing remotes for KOA Radio, and we were out at Elias Gardens, if some of you people may remember that name. And Virgil was playing in a band, right?
Right.
Did you meet him?
Yeah.
That was Dick Jurgens.
Oh.
Dick Jurgens, that's
Oh,
right.
I remember.
Yeah, we used to
that band.
broadcast on KOA there about every night through the week.
Right.
Yeah.
What was his theme now? I've forgotten.
Daydreams come true at night.
Well, now I thought I could remember that, but I didn't.
What years would that be?
Right after I got out of the service, and then I was, that was in 50s.
But did you actually meet Virgil and then come out here and meet him again?
Well, not really.
Okay, I want the honest
Because
story.
he had to work there all night, and I went out and did my little 15-minute thing with about a 5-minute warm-up.
Oh, you were performing too.
Well, I was
He was the announcer.
I was doing the announcing for the remote.
Oh, okay.
And so I got all the menu and read the menu and talked to Dick Jurgens a little bit and played with talked to the band and everything. It was great fun. Great fun.
Oh, wonderful
Had
job.
a lot of fun on that.
Lynn Reed, known as The Voice.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here, and we hope that one of these days we're going to get a story with you and Ann, because you've got a great lot of things to tell us about.
We did one when we first came here, and she says, "Don't put a tape in," so they didn't. So we we sort of practiced a little
Is
with
that
the,
right?
with the crew, you know.
Well, since you've practiced, by golly, we're going to have the real thing one of these days, Nan. You're going to be on it, too.
That's
believe it or
right.
not.
They
Thanks
said
again.
they wished they'd have taped it, but they didn't. So.
To cut a show for the opening of the variety show for this year for their ticket sales. And we wound up with one camera and a lot of luck, and
And
they
a
did
very
a great
talented
job.
And a lot of
person.
sunshine.
Then a lot, oh, boy, was that a warm day, wasn't it? And it came
was.
out great, though. I want to congratulate you. The picture taking was good anyway, I'll say that.
Mick, what did you do in the past?
I've been back from back east in New York City, and I was a subway patrolman first, and then I became a court officer in the courts, Manhattan Supreme Court.
How do you go from subways to,
Well, the courts was a better job.
I'm sure,
I got out of the subway, so
yeah. And this was in New York?
New York City.
Okay, and then how long have you been in this area?
We bought the house here 4 years ago, and the reason we're out here is Bob Stoltz.
Oh,
We were next door neighbors in
Oh.
New Jersey, and he got me interested in the club here, and that's why I'm here.
Well, we're glad to have you because I understand you're very talented.
I don't know.
Well, that's
it's a
what I
tremendous
hear.
job. It's a
Yes.
tremendous job. What, was Bob Stoltz a pretty good neighbor to be around there
Oh,
back
it's
in the
great.
area?
Yeah.
Where did you live? You lived in New York or New Jersey?
And then we lived in Dumont, New Jersey.
Dumont.
Mhm.
How far is that from New York?
Well, I guess about a half hour.
Yeah.
Is that near the casinos anywhere?
No, that's North Bergen.
I can't imagine Bob being there without being close to the casinos. Well, listen, it's good to have you here. We hope
Okay.
that you enjoy
I'm glad that you're a
being in
member
our
of our
club.
club.
And
Okay.
you've had a pretty good what's a subway policeman? Is that what you said?
Ride the subways, you know.
Uh-huh. All the time?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? My golly,
This was in New York City?
New York City.
you do a lot of traveling. You're a high
Oh,
mileage
yeah.
subwayer then.
It was good to get out of the hole.
Okay, good to have you here.
Okay,
and
thank
we
you.
hope that you have a good time with us too, Mick, and we're looking
Okay.
forward to having more work from you too.
Don't go away, we have some cake here.
Right. Okay, we're going to be talking to Mick's neighbor here now, who is Bob Stoltz, and Bob has been with the club. He does a lot of directing. This is one of the first times that he's been on camera, and I hope he's not nervous. Are you nervous, Bob?
Does he look nervous?
I don't know.
He looks very stoic, I think.
Mr. Casual.
Good to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
you're doing a very good job, and who's minding the store right now?
Well, Ralph is taking over the directing right now.
Okay.
And Ralph was the one that taught me how to direct, so there's
Is
not
that
a, not a real problem. No.
Oh,
no,
great.
No.
Well, you guys
And I
do a
deny
wonderful job.
everything that you said about me just a minute ago and what Mickey said
Is that
about
true?
me. I deny everything.
Well, you should.
I've never been to the casinos in my life.
Is that right?
Right.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
And you can tell that he also is an East Coaster, right?
Right. Now, Bob, you had a little slogan about the job that you did before you came out to Sun City West. What was that? How did that go now?
Well, just to give you a little background, I worked for Maxwell House in the research department, and someone said, well, how do you research coffee?
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's really very easy. The people in the plant hide the beans and research for them.
Well, let's
Yeah.
see, moving right along.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I'll never make my way as a comedian.
Is he good to the last drop?
Yeah, I think so. Well, now, what made you, from the coffee business, want to get into the TV production club when you first came out here?
Well, I was always interested in photography, and I naturally progressed into video when it became popular, home video. And I enjoyed it, and I met Ralph Ventura, and he was involved in this, and I asked him one day, I said, you think I could come over maybe just to get involved, maybe pull some cables or something? And I showed up, and then they put me behind a camera, and you know, that's my first love, behind a camera. I love
Yeah.
to get up behind camera.
Yeah?
But I've been directing a lot now, and doing all the other things, a little bit fooling around with the lighting.
And,
But,
and the board, have you done much board work?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, the directing. We use a technical director and a director interchangeably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're not fast enough to give orders to a technical director. By the
So-
time I would give the order and the technical director would execute it, it would be too late. So we try to do it
But it's
ourselves.
working.
It works. It works, yeah.
You and wife Mary like it to hear in the
Oh, we love it.
West
We
area?
would never be anywhere else.
Good.
Yeah, we're very happy here.
Good to have you out here.
Thank you.
And
And-
And it's very comforting to know that you're in the control room.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
what are
you.
some of the shows that you remember that you like best?
Well,
Particular one?
Bob Hart mentioned earlier the Frank Cush and Joe Arpaio show when he talked about the children and raising
I
kids.
heard about that.
That was a great show, and I like the golf shows. We did one with our old golf pro from Sun City West, Steve J., which was a very good show. But I like them all.
Good.
The political shows, it's not my number one interest, but I still enjoy doing the shows because that's what we enjoy doing here. We enjoy doing the shows. And no matter what the
actually,
subject is,
very
we have-
diversified, aren't we?
Yes, very, very. We do everything. And anything,
Well, almost anything.
almost anything.
Well, Bob, it's good to have you here, and again, as you said, it's reassuring to have you behind the glass in there, so to speak. And
Well, thank
and
you.
I think we got a shot of you as we started the show here, back there.
Well, as
signaling and
director, I can call the shots.
That's
you
right.
can.
So I said, let me get on this once.
That's
I don't get
right.
before the camera very often.
And I think you should. I think you're doing a very good job.
Great job, and it's good to have you here.
Okay.
Thanks again for
Thank
coming
you.
down and,
Okay.
and
Thank you.
visiting with us on the outside here. So we'll let you get back to your work, and we'll relieve Ralph in there and get him talking
We'll
and
get
so
him
forth.
out of here.
And we will get him to talk.
Right. And in the meantime, we're going to back and do some more clips here of the old days that have gone by.
Hey, isn't this fun?
Oh, it's great. I'm ready for my cake,
I
really,
know it.
if you don't mind.
No, run the clips.
Oh.
But anyway, listen, so when you listen to this dance, kind of imagine, you're much too kind to me, kind of imagine the sort of dance, the samba, but remember,
Being a cricket seems fine enough to me.
That's easy for him to say. He'll be a lightning bug one day, and
the legislature, and there are bills of their interest. We usually see the same people all the time, the same activist groups.
Hey, are we having fun?
You betcha.
Oh, I'll tell you.
All the time.
And I just, we are meeting such interesting people. And now we're going to meet Lou Erdang, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's spelled L-U-I-S, which I think is very interesting. And Lou, you told me that you could tell your whole life story in two minutes.
I lied.
He lied. He can't- I don't believe that. When were you the president of the club? How many years does that go back, Lou?
Well, they tell me 1990 or 1991. I'm not sure.
Well, who cares?
Yeah?
Yeah.
18 or 19?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It might have been 17. Who knows?
Okay.
Hey,
But-
Lou, how did you get involved in the club?
Well, I had done some commercial television when I was working as an engineer for RCA, and I was making training films and stuff like that.
Oh, so you came with somewhat of a
And
background.
I went to school and studied video journalism. So when I came out here, I said, well, why waste it?
That's right.
I'll try to do something. That's how I got involved.
Now, what are some of the shows that you remember? You were a director here for many, many years, and some of the better ones that you directed.
Well, we started Fun Over 50.
Yeah?
I say that must have been quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
technically it
I was involved in the first show we ever did. It took a long time before anybody had the guts to turn a camera on and really record anything. And I think the first show we ever did was, I was the cameraman and Al Spanger was the director and the producer.
Mm-hmm.
Incidentally, Al Spanger is living in Tucson now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But that was the first one, and it was pretty bad.
Well, do you remember what the subject was?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was a horrible show. I think the.
Well, would you say we've come a long way,
Yeah,
baby?
I think the show that I remember the best, that I think is maybe one of the best shows I was associated with that I directed, was the rehearsal of the Sun City Symphony with James Yedstead.
Oh, that must have been
We
an
did that in the Sun Dome, and the only problem we had was that we asked him that during the rehearsal that he had to have all music that was not copyrighted so we could replay it, which he accommodated us. And that was interesting because you got to see a lot of things that going to a concert you don't normally see.
Like what?
In other words, you saw him talking to, we had a camera pointing at him, and we had a mic on him, and when he was talking to the musicians, and there were two singers there and giving them directions, you heard all that. And then it was interesting, we aired that before the concert that involved the numbers that he played in the rehearsal.
Oh, that was
So if
creative.
you saw the rehearsal and you saw how he told them to do different things and so on, and then you went to the concert, it made it much more interesting.
I'm sure.
Well, Lou, you've had a great run with our production club here, and you've been a great director, and it's good to have you here. We hope that you'll come back and join us again. You've been missing for about a year or two. You've been taking a lot of pictures over at the Sun Dome, right?
Yeah, I take pictures at the Sun Dome, and I met all the celebrities there and photographed them.
Yeah?
And that's fun.
Now, do you get hired to do that for the Sun Dome?
Well,
or
I
is
do it. I do it sort of as a volunteer. They give me a small recompense
Stipend.
for it, but basically as a volunteer.
He takes some great pictures over there, too, and you've done some great camera work here.
Then-
We want you to come back and direct us again.
Right.
Well, that might happen. We'll see.
I certainly
Great.
hope so. Okay, thanks again for coming down. Good to see you here. Okay.
Yeah.
Folks.
We're going to be talking now to a person who has a lot to do with our club, especially this year, and he's in for a 2-year term, too, is Norm Horstman. And Norm, it's good to have you here.
Good
How
to be
you
here.
doing? Tell us about the club that you have here, Mr. President.
Yes.
That's fine.
Hey, we're sitting between.
I thought that was your job.
Well, now, you have been president. This is your second year that's coming up.
I haven't started the second year yet, but I will start the second year in January.
How long have you been with the organization?
I went to my first meeting in January of 1991, and they mentioned that they were having a remote shoot at the Sundial Auditorium in Sun City. So I went over there to see what it was all about, and unfortunately, or fortunately, Ralph had to leave, was a cameraman, and he had to leave because the thing was running too long, so I was pressed into service as a
You
cameraman.
took over right away.
So once I got those earphones on my ears and
You're
heard
there.
all those take camera 2 or camera 3, why, I was hooked.
Well, you're not new to the world of photography. Didn't you do that in North Dakota?
Yes, I ran a studio for 44 years, and we took everything.
What?
But-
Go ahead.
Excuse me, I was going to say, I think the thing we have to remember, true, you were a photographer, but still, you do a lot of the technical work, and you got trained
yeah.
in that.
Yes.
So people that are watching our show, that are interested in TV production, could come and do it. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, anybody can run a camera.
right, it's not difficult.
Learn how to run the lights and sound and the whole thing.
The whole works, yes.
How would they get a hold of you, Norm, if they wanted to get more information on the organization?
Well, we'll see if the fellows in the control room are on the ball or not, but we can put a phone number up there. if,
Okay, let's put a phone number up there at some time, and
If,
some of the people that are watching, if you want to get in with this bunch of
I'll
swell
put it
people.
584 584-4677.
Okay, 584-4667.
No. 584-4677.
All right, got it right, okay. So there it is right there, 584-4677. I can remember that one because I'm looking at it right now. Well, Norm, what are some of the shows that you've done so far that you've really had fun doing?
I think the most fun one, we did at the Sun Dome, and that was A Tale of Two Cities. It was
Oh, really?
quite a production. Yes,
Uh-huh.
it was a 2-hour show.
Was that the variety show?
No, it wasn't the variety show,
Oh,
but it
okay.
was similar to the variety show. And it told the whole history of the Sun Cities. When Del Webb first started actually mentioned that he built the Madison Square Garden in New York and other things that Del Webb had built, and went on to go through his life down to building Sun City.
Great.
And then Sun City West. And we had 3 cameras there, and
Wow.
at that time we had to use the sound truck from Dimension Cable. And that was parked out in back with cables running into the...
Yeah.
And I think Ralph
That's big time, isn't it?
sat in the truck and
Well, Ralph is sitting with us right now, and we're going to thank you very much for coming down, Norm.
Yes,
And we're
Mr.
going to talk to
President.
Ralph,
Right.
who has gone from sitting in the truck to sitting behind the table here. And Ralph Ventura has a great deal of things that he's wanting to expand about a little on our show here. How about it, Ralph? Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
What was your background now? You were in artwork, is that?
I was doing cartoon animation.
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon animation. Where?
Cartoon animation with, well, no, it wasn't in Hollywood. It was in New York City.
Uh-huh.
I had various employers. I never had a job for more than 2 years for a long time. Because, not because of my fault, because of the studio's fault. And then my last job, I stayed with one boss for about 12 years.
Uh-huh.
And that was Jack Zander. And I worked for Felix the Cat.
Oh, you did?
To mention a few names.
Oh.
Yeah?
I worked on Felix the
gonna
Cat. I worked maybe 2 weeks for Popeye. And most of my jobs were commercial jobs, really. I did that.
But our things are quite different now with the computers and everything.
I know that, yes.
Do you think that you'd like to still be doing that?
Not with a computer. No, not with a computer.
That's not the real thing, is
We did
it?
things the old-fashioned way, you know,
Yeah.
ink and paint with
Yeah.
pens and brushes and cellulose. I don't know how they're doing them now.
Well, you're very creative, to say the least.
Well, Ralph,
Thank you.
what functions do you perform with the studio area here?
Well, I've learned everything here except maybe floor manager, but I try a lot. I try harder to do a floor managing job, and that's putting the microphones on my chest and all that stuff.
But you work the board.
I work the boards.
Do you find that that's a little bit frustrating to do? I mean, I fell apart during TV production doing it.
It is frustrating at times, and like right now, what I'm doing today now is a lot of handling of audio business. That's what I'm doing right now, the audio and the music and all that.
Okay, well, Ralph, it's good to have you here. We want to wish you a good time at the anniversary, and I think that we're getting all kinds of hand signals.
Yeah.
So we may have run out of time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it looks like we have anyway. And do you want us to conclude things now? Is that it? Okay.
Well,
Anna's
we've been
saying
sort
yes.
of seat of our pants
That
today,
more
but
or
it's
less.
been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
People
Much
have been
more.
coming through the door, and Lynn's going to get to eat his cake now. And
I was going to
things
say
like
that Lou Erdang is also in the sound department because you heard him rapping on the door out there. I thought he was coming right through. Okay, well, this has been FYI, and you are.
I'm Jan Rittmaster.
And I'm Lynn Reed, and thanks for joining us for our anniversary, the 10th anniversary of the Sun Cities West TV Production Club. Had a lot of fun today. Now we're going to get to the cake.
Yeah, and I hope they had as much fun watching it as we did doing it.
Right. Bye now.
Might never be me, might never be cross, I try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. For
our vintage know of from the standpoint of accountability, responsibility. In addition to that, in my opinion, the community was more involved.
This is from family to family, the supervision was very tough, and in those days, I remember as a nation as the juvenile crime.
Is it related to poverty in a sense that?
Well, I'll tell you, I had a
Once before, just before you're going out to do New York, you got a cramp, or what happened to that?
What happened was the day of the finals, the final day of the
Now, Mary Ann is the Miss Senior Arizona of 1994, and I remember you quite well. You do? Yes, I do, because you were very helpful backstage. I noticed that you had a lot of things to tell me, and I think there's sort of a kick start for you, exactly.
Well, you asked one of the other girls how they got into the contest, and I had lost my...